You're sure as fuck not hyping this Madison Square Garden Bisping GSP card because the hype's not there. The hype is not there. You have to generate that. You have, and it's one of our current events, and this is one I sent to Chin. Usually Chin selects all of them. I don't know what they are before the show, which is typically how I like it. But this one I sent because it's a little insert of how, a lot of people in today's pay-per-view model, and the fight night stuff like that, you're seeing a lower retention rate. You're seeing a lower buy rate for the pay-per-views. And it's all about, superstars, and I get that. But the cards have been solid lately. I'm not knocking these. The cards have been actually really good as of late. Really good. Mm-hmm. So, but if you're not balls deep in it, you're looking at like, no, I'm not buying that. $60 in today's economy, $60, and there's a lot of pay-per-views. Man, I don't know. And it's the Wrestling Observer, and Luke Thomas tweeted this out. This is what I got, but it says, there's a shock. So the UFC did a marketing study. There was a result that surprised a lot of people and spoke to the changes in the fan base and rapid turnaround. There was a shockingly high percentage of the current pay-per-view buying audience that had never heard of George St. Pierre. As it turned out, a large percent of the pay-per-view audience around today came into the sport with Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor and have no historical knowledge of its prior to that point in time. So, that's why, and again, I'm a George St. Pierre dick rider. I love the guy. I've trained with him. He's a friend of mine. I love George St. Pierre. But when you retire 4 years ago, you've missed this entire wave. It's just that think about the UFC 4 years ago. We're moving at such a rapid pace. It's so hard to stay on board and go back and look. And you got this new guy and this show, and you got Conor over here. You got Brock Lesnar. It's just this game's evolving like a motherfucker. So then GSP, you're losing those audience, and not to mention, I think this is the biggest. I shouldn't say the biggest. It's one of the factors why the UFC is having a down year. And it's because there's too many pay-per-views. There's too much content. It's not special anymore. For a guy like me, I can't get enough. I will watch everyone. Like, I said this on the companion. You go to my DVR, I got Access TV fights. I got PBS boxing. I got Showtime boxing. I got Showtime New Generation boxing on there. I got HBO, ESPN boxing, Bellator, any UFC. It's all of that, right? But for the general public, it's too much, man. It's too much. And I think with their TV deal, which is a game changer. This TV deal, usually there's red flags because we're not seeing a lot of movement with it right now. Usually this far out, because I think by next year they need to. It comes up next year, but usually have an idea where you're going to land. Right now, there's not a lot of buyers in the game, so that's a red flag. And I think it's whoever takes it over, whether it's Fox, they need the content. If I was a betting man, I would bet a lot of money it's going to be Fox because they're married to the UFC. UFC's married with them. They have the audience there. If you switch, it's going to be even more confusing. But also, Fox Sports needs the content. Fox needs all the material. What else? What are you going to fill the programming with? What are you going to do? So they kind of need it. So I think they're going to be the player in the game. Also, there's no other player. You're negotiating with yourselves. ESPN's out. CBS is out. There's not a lot of guys like vying at it. It's like buying a car or buying a house. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to buy a house right now on the west side. When you put an offer on the house, there's 7 other offers. So you're going trying to outbid each other. Well, think about if I just put an offer, there's no one else. I'm just dealing with the guy one-on-one. Probably can get the house. What are you going to do? There's no one else going to buy it. What the fuck are you going to do? I'll take it. I know you want whatever, $4 million. Nah, man, here's what I'm going to give you. There's no one else. Take it or leave it. So that's what's going on with them. So the model I would do is, I don't know how many pay-per-views and shows that they've had this year, how many pay-per-views they've had. I think 13. Sometimes they have 2 a month, typically at least 1 a month, always 1 a month, sometimes 2 a month. What I would do is I would make them super special, like back in the day, but even more so. We have more stars. I would do 4. I'd do 4 pay-per-views, but they're the fucking WrestleManias. It's stacked. Every fight is a main event you'd want to see. And there's 5 of them, and it is the who's who of the UFC. There's only 4 of them a year, though. We're going to get crazy fucking ratings, though. And we're going to market the piss out of it. All our focus on those 4. So what's that? That's 1 every 3 months. Then outside that, I have fight nights. I do that stuff. I do the Fox cards. But I have 4 classic bangers. Special posters around it. Every fight on there has their own countdown embedded, building up to it. I'm telling all the stories. I'm investing everything in those 4 huge cards. Make them super special. Make them events. They're stars at these things. I'm letting people know where that. I got 1 in Madison Square Garden. I got 1 in Dublin. I got 1 in England, and I end the year in Vegas. Boom, 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 boom. And they're just the Hall of Fame. They shit on UFC 200. They shit on UFC 100. It's all the stars. 4 a year. And then the other one, we have our fight nights. You have your good cards on Fox, stuff like that. But I go back to, and I know people, well, they make their money off pay-per-view. I know, but how's it going for you this year? So that's what I would do. And you're going to gain a lot more interest. You're going to get a lot more people. If it's just 4 a year, but it's the best product you can put out, it's not so much quantity, it's more quality. You're going to get new viewers. It's same with the Conor McGregor-Mayweather fight. That one historic fight is huge. The average consumer tuned in because there's so much coverage. We all wanted to see what was going on. You know, it's a big event. But if they fight every month, your typical person is not going to tune in. Your buddies aren't coming to your house tuning in. But if there's 4, and we know there's 4, not money-wise and business-wise, obviously you're going to have to switch things up, but whatever you're doing is not working for this year because you don't have stars. You do, but you're not putting the best product out. You'd have to figure that out, but that'd be my idea. I just think it's too much. It's too saturated. We go back to older model. And there's obviously a lot more fighters, but that's why you have like a Strike Force or WC where you have these young, hungry guys where that's on free TV. Tuesday night fights, Thursday night fights, the way boxing used to do it back in the day. But when we do the big cards, it's our home run hitters. There's no bullshit cards. There's no, you look at some of the pay-per-views and you're like, I guess I want to see that. I mean, I'm forced to see it because I bought the pay-per-view. No. We're talking every fight. You're not leaving your seat, man. That's what I'd do to get this bad boy.
If they were super huge cards, that'd be badass.
I'm talking Super Bowl 4 times a year. You'd have to have some money to carry the other stuff. You'd have to figure the other stuff out. Obviously, their business model is completely different when they're doing whatever 16 pay-per-views. But like, there's a fight every night, or there's a fight every week till the end of the year. I think there's 13 fights coming up. And that's not including Bellator, but that's what I would do. I just think it'd be so much more fun that way. There'd be so much anticipation, like that movie coming out and you're releasing these teasers and these trailers. And I think it'd be really, really special. Make it a special occasion. Do go different, go opposite of all the other sports. Like, I'm balls deep in football, man. I can't keep up with every game. I know they're in seasons, and the UFC doesn't have a season, so this makes it kind of that season feel. Once every 3 months, everyone's going to tune in. Because, again, with football, I see some games, some I miss out on, because I know it's next week. I don't care. I'll see the highlights, whatever. Baseball, don't even get me started. Way too many goddamn games. And then all basketball, are you shitting me? I don't watch you'll watch the first few weeks just because there's all these, guys are out, in and out. They've been traded. It's the world of super teams now, so you want to see how they, gel and stuff like that. But then once it hits midseason, no one gives a fuck. So go different. Because remember, the UFC used to be different. That's what made us special. We used to be different. But now they want to be, a mainstream sport, which we are. But I would still keep it different. Do what got you to the dance. But there's going to be some guys, the UFC brass, who are listening to this, and they're the business guys going, that doesn't work for us, homeboy. That doesn't fucking work, Shab. That's not going to work, man. We have to hit these marks. We have to hit this. Fox can do this. Fox wants to be, So I don't know all that. I'm saying if I was an alien from Mars, came down, looked at what you guys are doing, I'd go, I'd do this. I don't know what ties you have or what's going on here, that's what I would do.
I like it.
I don't know. If only it was that easy.